All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So today we're going to talk about ripping in the Queen F3 line of the fried liver. I'm going to go over a bunch of different lines, and you can pick the one that fits your fancy. Shout out to bars. Um, yeah, so getting started, I'm just going to reach the basic fried liver position where we have D5, ED, and this whole spiel, and this is the move that most people aren't going to be familiar with, right? A lot of people reach this position, and you could see, bishop back. You might see bishop d3. You might see bishop e2, maybe even bishop f1. Um, yeah, bunch of moves here. But I've been really liking Queen F3, and you'll see Queen F3 is the most popular in the Lee chess database, but all of these moves are about the same, right? Like it's like 25% across the board here. But I've been really enjoying Queen F3. And I'm going to talk through a couple of the variations, a couple of the traps, and some of the themes here. Um, for kind of getting better in these lines. So first things first here, obviously the queen is pinning the pawn. Black has a variety of different options. Black can actually take this bishop. It might be the best move. C takes might be the best move. Actually giving up the rook, but there's a lot of lines where the queen can get trapped there. It gets pretty hectic. We'll look at that. Specifically, the line that I'm going to look at here is bishop b7. This is probably the most common one that you'll see. Bishop b7. A couple moves here. The move I used to play was bishop back to a4, but I've been thinking about it, and I really like bishop d3. You'll see we're controlling this e4 square, and for a variety of reasons, this move is it's pretty interesting and gives white, I think, an advantage here. The line I'll follow is one that's like the top line first, and then we'll go into the variations. So h6, knight back, bishop out, all pretty standard. Knight takes, really not much to talk about here. This would just be like a basic main line if black doesn't do anything too funky. Um, C pawn forward and here, and now it's white definitely has an advantage here, right? Black has some obvious weaknesses. Once look at this knight, like knight on the rim. White's playing for the win here, so this is just a pretty nice position. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but um, this was what can happen if black doesn't really do anything too crazy. But they do play bishop b7. Now we can look at some other lines, starting with DC, BC, and what if they take with the knight? This is something that not necessarily related to Queen F3, but it's kind of an interesting question. So if knight takes, we can see D3 looking to open up our dark squared bishop and defend the G5 knight, followed by castles, bringing the knight back. A little bit counterintuitive, but it's not really doing much on G5 anymore. Bishop out, uh, bishop takes C6, pawn takes, and now we have a game where we play against this kind of weak pawn here, looking to continue to attack it. And yeah, we have ourselves a little bit of a game. Nothing too crazy. Now if we go back to our normal position, after Queen F3, Bishop B7, uh, Bishop D3, H6. There's a couple of different lines we might see here. So specifically, we're going to look at, we just went over H6, but we can also look at Bishop E7, right? So what if they play Bishop E7? Bishop E7, we're going to bring our knight to C3, castles, B4, very common theme. So this is big common theme number one, B4. B4 is a really interesting move here. A lot of times you might be like, what the hell is this? Is this just a straight up blunder? Well, it's not. Because after bishop takes, we'll see, again, look at this. Look how well white is doing here. After bishop takes b4, knight e4, and this is what people are missing is look at all this pressure we have against white's king side, right? After knight takes, queen takes. I mean, look at this. Look at this. It's really fantastic, and just absolutely amazing. So b4, b4, and this is just brutal. Right? It's pretty much over. I'll also note that we're threatening Nate and the undefended bishop. So completely winning for white here. G4, G6. If F5, right, pairing the mate threat, again, just take the bishop. And yeah, this is completely winning. We can look at this a little bit further. Knight takes. We'll see that our knight's hanging. Also, G2 is hanging, but we pick up their knight after queen takes G2. Rook F1, queen takes H2, and now again open B file. This is all but over, right? This is pretty much over, completely over. Cool. So that was bishop E7. You might be asking, well, what if they play C5, right? The discovered attack against the queen. Well, whenever you see this move, C5 is a complete mistake. It's a complete mistake because of bishop B4. Excuse me, bishop B5 check. And there's literally nothing. If the knight comes back, we have knight FD7, mate 1. And we need to remember we have this pressure against the F7 pawn. If king E7, very simply, just bringing the queen back. We're going to put a lot of pressure here, possibly looking out to come to C4 here, and continue to put pressure on F7. If queen D6 here, just F4, just immediately opening up the center. If H6, then again, mate 1, right? Fantastic. And if something like queen C7, maybe castles, and again, we just look to open up the center. White's king is just completely destroyed here. Pretty good stuff. Third move might be bishop D6. Bishop D6 looks interesting here. But again, we'll see a similar theme in the knight jumping into E4, right? C3 to E4. And we have, again, another similar type of position here. We'll have a lot of pressure against white's king side. Pretty fun stuff. And going back into this H6 line. Yeah, we also have knight takes E4. This leads to a solid position for white. Again, we're going to put pressure against that pawn. Pawn is pinned to the bishop. D3 castles. We just slowly get our pieces out. And this is a pretty nice sacrifice. So queen coming out to H5. Bishop takes and threatening move here. Yeah, pretty nice stuff. So yeah, that's all I wanted to show in bishop E7 lines. Our pawn takes line is also pretty interesting here. So E4 coming out, but nobody cared. So now this is Black's best response. This is Black's response for equality is pawn takes. And after CB, queen takes A8. There's a few traps you just need to avoid. And we can get into a bit of the details here, but first things first, H6, kicking the knight out. Knight E4, knight D5. Remember that knight is protected by the queen. If knight takes E4, just simply queen takes E4, and your black is, or excuse me, white is totally fine. Doing totally fine here. A lot of the problems stem from the fact that this queen is just stuck in a corner, and if we can get our queen out, we're going to do that. So if something like queen C7, just knight takes F6, queen can come out. Queen D7, again, knight takes F6. We open up this avenue for our queen to come back out. Back to the main line, you can imagine H6, and this is a move that you need to know. So when white plays knight D4, excuse me, knight D5, the best move, we need to go for a quasi knight sacrifice. You might think, oh, we're just giving away the knight here. Not really, because in order to take the knight, they'd have to play bishop takes d6. I'm defending this knight. If queen takes a7, excuse me, if excuse me, if queen takes, very simply, queen takes c8, d8, or better. So yeah. Anyway, bishop takes, castles. We have a game here. So just remember this move, knight to d6. That's the key move here. A few other lines that might be of note. Queen takes a8, h6, bishop e7, right, instead of h6. So queen takes a8, bishop e7, d4, immediately opening up the center. Really nice move here. ED castles and bringing our queen out. So this is a pretty nice variation. Nothing too crazy here. I'm just gonna skip some of this stuff, and we end up with like a fairly even position here. We might also see we could play castles instead of d4. A little bit less testing, but again, just bringing our queen back. We get a queen trade. I don't like this as much. We do end up ruining your structure and it gets ugly. I would just stick to this d4 idea. Yeah. Other move, bishop c5 instead of h6. This simply allows us to attack the bishop with tempo. So it's just a better move for us and make our queen back out. And queen c7, again, nothing crazy here, just allowing us to bring the queen out. Anything that isn't knight d5 here and blocking us from getting the queen out is totally fine. So yeah, that's the most testing variation. But as long as we remember this move, knight d6 check, winning back our piece, we're doing okay. Moving on, we've got our e7 variation, bishop e7. Bishop e7, right? So just saying, okay, like you're pinning up my pieces. I'm just gonna play bishop e7 castle as quickly as possible. I don't really know what's going on, but we're just gonna go for this, right? So whenever we see this bishop out, we usually do something with our bishop. So like they move their bishop, we move our bishop. So when we see this, our bishop goes back, just plain and simple. And again, to this nice square on d3, and we're going to see similar themes, right? Like this b4 theme might come into play with this knight not having its nice squares, and we'll continue to keep track of that. h6 again, yeah, nothing crazy. Knight g4, bringing the knight back, and boom, we've got bishop takes e4. Now here we can also see knight d5 instead of knight takes. So after knight to e4, knight takes e4, we could also see knight e4, knight d5. And the point of this is that like when you take, we have all this pressure against the queen side. But the point is also that this isn't the most testing move for black. Knight d5 is by far the best move. And after we drop our knight back, he gets this knight out, this nice little post on f4, bishop f5, avoids the bishop trade, and we kind of get into a bit of an interesting position for white. This is certainly difficult to play, but not impossible. And because there's a lot of stuff that can happen here. Castles is certainly wrong, right? Because you just walk into f5. That's why we bring the knight back, right? We bring the knight back to avoid this tempo move, and then he just punishes us, just throwing his pawns down right at us. So in order to avoid that, we need to castle. So good stuff there. What else we have here? Knight g4, bishop takes, the pawn there, and we have a game. We have a game. We're gonna put the bishop on a long diagonal here, castle, and it'll be pretty interesting. So that's bishop e7. Last but not least, we got bishop d7 here. So bishop d7, again, we're going to see similar themes. When the bishop comes out to d7, we bring our bishop back. We move our bishop. When a bishop moves, we move our bishop. So bringing the bishop back, and h6 comes, standard stuff. Whenever h6 comes, the knight drops back into e4. We get ourselves a little knight trade, And here's our cool move b4 again. B4 and we went up on back. So always be on eye, look out for this move, right? Bishop d6 question mark, question mark, question mark. E4 b4 comes out, knight b7, and we move in the pawn. A couple of variations here we want to think of. Bishop e7 instead. Castles, d3, standard stuff, nothing crazy. Yeah, not much to talk about here. If we could also take this f pawn push, f5, ef5, and get ourselves a position. I don't like this as much. It's a little hectic here, but yeah, I don't know. We could look at the computer evaluation. White's a little bit better. You're about to give up. You're about to give up this pawn because of the discovered attack. But get some playback. Anyway, yeah. Also, one thing that I wanted to look, well, I don't really want to look at this variation, but I did have this the other day, where this guy took here, and I was just dumbfounded for a second. I don't know why I did what I did. I actually took back with the knight, which is really stupid. And I promised myself I would never do that again. Very simply, but just bishop takes f7, right? Bishop takes f7, completely winning, right? If knight takes f7, he gets all this queen stuff. It's like this. What is this one called? The tractor. It's like the tractor, right? Where you have this move, and it kind of reminds me of that. That's what it's reminds me of, right? After if you just go for this pawn with the knight, you just end up getting smoked. Queen h4, and it's a whole problem, right? You're thinking, oh, I could just play this, but no. Just take this. So pretty interesting stuff. Don't go for this line. Very simply put, if they just do this crazy shit, just remember, after takes, take king here, and very simply d4, beautiful move, d4, beautiful move, right? Really nice move. Just completely opening up the position. We've got an undefended piece here. Yeah, and also redefends our piece, and it's threatening, right? Like if you for some reason if he takes here and doesn't remember, boom, the game is over. Right? Look how many people are falling for this. Over 400 people are falling for this. 2,200 are falling for this. Yes, this is a really fantastic move, and just going for it. Bringing this back is just too passive, right? Like you're giving up the knight, and it's too slow now. It's too late. You lost a chance to capitalize on the position, and you've also lost a piece. So basically, best move here, d4, and yeah, after knight takes, we simply go c3. C3. We continue to ping this knight around. If knight comes back, this is just crushing. Completely crushing. They're on my fan. But enough when you say, oh, I could just go for this. I could just go. No, mate. So massive threats in the position, and yeah, really nice and easy to play for white. So just remember, if they do some crazy shit like this, simply take with the bishop just like you would in a fractal. King moves and b4, open up the center. Done. Okay, so that's my recap of the Queen F3 Fried Liver. I'll post a study. If you liked it, tell me. If not, you. All right, bye.